Welcome back to Space Engineers. I am Chief Engineer Rever, and we have had a little bit of fun since we last left. I've been thinking much about our ship. I had some time to go mining, and for those of you who are keen eyed observers, do you notice that something's missing? Oops. What happened was I was coming back from all the way up there. I have the gold, I think I've told you about it. Gold and silver, and I dug all the way into the silver area. I was doing well. I went like 70 meters, and I was kind of keeping an eye on the batteries. Thought I had plenty. And then I actually hit gold. I was just about to stop. I hit gold. I said, let me go dump this stuff. The new dumping system is working okay. It's a little bit cumbersome, but in any event. So I got the load all the way back to there. Like I overshot the base. Noticed that I had like 2 seconds, kind of expeditiously turned around and started heading back to our port here and ran out of fuel. So let's head on down there. And what I did was, we got pretty darn lucky though in the grand scheme of things. I mean, nothing got damaged. I added these solar cells because we're out of power and it's the darn thing's kind of stuck here right now. Now, I did get a little bit of gold, and we didn't even really need it. And the only thing we lost, we put a hole in the ground, and we lost our landing gear. And literally, I was looking like nothing else is even damaged. So that's all the more reason when I talk about putting those landing gear on your miner just to protect. I've often thought about putting them up above, right? Just so that if I hit the cliff wall above. But there we are, so we're just laying there. Now, I took all of the cargo back out. And I let this thing sit there on charge. Now, I'm not sure what we should do at this moment. If we come back in here, I just turned the batteries off. Let's turn them back on. And I just want to see, I thought about this more. Was that one on the whole time? Yeah, it must have been. So we're using a kilowatt. Now, I don't know. Can I turn off the cockpit? I think that's about the only thing on. That doesn't seem to... So there's something else that's on here. I thought I had turned everything off. Battery, antenna's off. Might have missed one thing, right? Landing gears are all off. Yeah, we can turn off the cargo container now, right? Maybe let's see, what does the battery say? No, that didn't help. Where did that cargo container go? It sort of disappeared when I... Didn't it? There it is. Alright, well, in any event, I don't know what's using one power. These should all definitely be off. Still like to know where that lay. I guess it... Yeah, so we're losing one power to something. Alright, so anyway, let me hop back out of here. That's enough of that. But we got... So once the sun gets up here... We gotta fly up there anyway. Once the sun gets up, we'll start charging a little bit more. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get enough to make it back up here. But we shall find out. There comes the sun. I didn't want... Like I said, the ships can tend to disappear. Now, our ship, if we hop in here, weighs 105,000 pounds. If you look, oops, let's turn on our HUD. If you look, 105,800 kilograms. Sorry, I'm American. And if you look at the calculation and how this is the kilograms mass, and the weight also comes into play here. So in other words, we have to multiply by 9.8 to figure out how many newtons we need. And that would be 1,036,000 more or less newtons. Each one of these thrusters here can go up to like 600,000 newtons. Let me open the page so I tell you guys the right number. Again, if the page I'm looking at is right, don't blame me, right? 565,000. So that means that really almost just 2 of these would get us into space, and 3 or 6 is definitely overkill. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting rid of this one, right? I don't think it matters too much, and putting 3 ion or hydrogen thrusters on the back. Each hydrogen thruster goes do 480, which is close to 500,000. But these containers here are not completely full. This one is, but this one's not. So I could see that we could bring a little bit more stuff up, and I think we could do it because if you do the math, and I'm sure you didn't follow all those numbers, the bottom line is that if each one of these would lift at the most 600 and some thousand, 4 of them would be like 2.4 million. And then 3 of these at 480 would be something around 14 million, right? And we're at 1.1 million, or maybe even a little less than that. So we could actually bring up a little more stuff with us if we change this configuration. And I'm thinking, this one is sort of out of the way. Now I have stuff in my inventory. What do I? Oh, that's right. The other thing I wanted to do was finish up our landing gears here and talk about putting a landing gear on the back over here. I guess I was prepared for it. So what I'll do is we'll cut that out, but let's put a landing gear down. Now it's going to be a little hard to tell the height. Let's see, is it? Let me just do this. Okay, so it's like one below. Right, it's like one below that. You know what we can do? Probably do this. Oops. All right, let's do 4. Just to make sure we get it at the right height, right? 1, 2, 3. Of course, I can't put another one on there. Yeah, so it's the height of 4 of this thing. Let's put it back over here somewhere. All right, can I just push that over without knocking it over? Would that be like way too much to ask for, I bet? Yeah. All right, let's grind that up. That was, I probably could have made a little stand out of it, huh? Maybe we'll do that over here. All right, so we're going to put, all right, let's see if we can't make it a little bit more stable. Ooh. All right, there's our landing gear needing height gauge. So what I'm thinking of is I don't really want this thing sticking out too far, right? Because a lot of times you see guys like put the legs out. I want this to be relatively narrow. So I'm thinking we just come, yeah, that'll be fine. Depends, well, where do we want to put these thrusters? I think I'm just going to put them right on the back. And the more I'm thinking about this, the less it's likely to become a, right, so that would be the height. So we need 5 blocks down. So let's do the same thing on this side. Right, and then that's the height we would want the bottom of the gear, which is equal to what? 2 of them. Okay, so let's, of course, I take off more than I want. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks up top. Right, looks like it's barely held on, even if that's not true. Yeah, so if we... Right, and we don't want this thing... Yeah, see, so if we put it on the front one, we'd put it on this one right here. So let's go to... I can't really see it. All right, we'll worry about making that look a little bit better. Yeah, I almost hesitate to weld the whole thing up, but it won't, it's not that big a deal. We'll get our pieces back, right? Yeah, we could definitely make it look a little better, but, and again, it should be okay unless we really whack the heck out of something. You know, hopefully we'll be flying a little bit more gently than that. And then the other thing, I think I have the stuff for it that somebody had talked about, was putting a camera on your ship so that you can zoom into the asteroids that are nearby. So let's come over here and do, yep, there's the camera. Right, and then the white dot down to the left is upwards view, and that does matter. So did I bring the stuff for that? No, 3 computers. But I can get rid of the rest of this, I think, and you know what? I wanted some of that stuff, didn't I? You know what? Let's just do it one step at a time. So we will have some extra components. Just weld it up before I forget. All right, so we're going to take this one off. Take this one off next.
Inventory full.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Inventory full.
Drop the stuff on the ground. Oh, we did lose parts. So what I wanted to do next was put, let me go to Control 2, 5, right? So I wanted to put, and then of all the stuff, never fails, does it? So we don't even have the stuff we need. All right, so let's see. I don't think we need quite so many of those. So let's get, I don't know, 50 of these, and I think we need a couple of these. Needed more construction components. Let's see, we had some there. Ah, I did it wrong. All right, so now what I want to do is put it so that, let's, we want the, yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking, right? Yep, so we have a big box on each side. I hope it didn't spin itself around again. It tends to do that. And it spun itself around again when I took it off of there. All right, so you flip up. And then I'm thinking of 4. Right, and then another one of those. Can't really see what's happening there. like that. Yep, so we need more construction components. Let's find that. Put the scrap right where it belongs, in the refinery. Where's the refinery? The basic refinery. I can't put things in there. There it is. Oh, I emptied it out. I'm so used to looking for stuff being in there. All right, so we needed construction components. And this is why I don't always show this when we're, because it's just a lot of running back and forth, and you seeing me have like very little memory. All right, so now do we have what we need? So this should give us, I'm thinking, right, that this would work. That we would then have, and I don't have them on the bar. Right, hydrogen thrusters, large. I missed then that one. Where did they go? Oh, they went in one. That's annoying. Right, so there's 3 large ion thrusters, which would be like 1,200. Now, what I'm counting on too, just so you guys know, is that as we get up there, we're going to have like less gravity. So I'm hoping that, I want to see like when we cut it off, how much less gravity we have. I guess in theory we could add another one. Yeah, you know what, we could put another one like right off of here. And I was thinking about putting just like a 90 off of there and doing 2. But I think that I'm feeling like a lot better about the 1, right? Yeah, can I reach that? No, of course not. I can reach it with the grinder. Why can't I reach it with the... Yeah, so we're going to need 22 metal grids, steel plates, large steel tubes, everything. All right, well, let me finish welding those up, and I think, and then it'll give me a minute to think about what else. Oh, you know what we can do? Let's grind this off together. All right, and then I'll put whatever else I can in there, and then I'll come back and we'll try to take off, because I think we're pretty darn close to ready. Yeah, I don't know what else we would need. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, there she is, our beautiful ship. It's about to launch us high into the atmosphere. So hopefully we have everything we need and everything goes pretty well. I don't know, I kind of double checked my list of things. So just so you know, I have the stuff that I need. We'll explain it when we get up there, but I have a bunch of stuff in here. We're almost full, right? So hopefully that's not an issue. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's go grab, just because it will never hurt us, I don't think, to have a little bit more ice. Right, how much? We'll just put it down in this one. And now we're completely full, plus we got a little bit in ourselves. I did grab a couple extra oxygen bottles and whatnot, and I put them in the inventory of the cockpit here. So just in case of an emergency, we have a bunch of oxygen and hydrogen bottles in there. And then, yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to go. Now, another thing I did was, if we come over here to G real quick, I have the landing gear. Right now, I just have it turned off because it's not going to help us until we need it. And then, landing gear I fight with. I like these connectors a lot more. But there we go. We can lock and unlock our connectors, turn on our drill. I did put on some lights just so we have a little bit of light in case it gets dark up there. And because we're going to be very limited in what we can do. And who knows? If it's dark, I'm not sure that I want to run down the batteries. I'll probably just sit in the dark while I read a book or something like that. But we have our hydrogen thrusters. We have the ability to turn off the hydrogen thrusters in the reversing direction so that we can just keep blasting ahead and still keep our dampers on if we want. and that's more for probably when we're out in space for the most part. And then we have our atmospheric thrusters. So yeah, I think I want to go into this view just so we can see what's happening. And then in order to really get into that view, I want to turn on 9 and 7, and those are our different thrusters. I'm going to unlock us, which means we should be able to zoom in and kind of get a good view of the ship so you guys can see what's happening. But let's not waste any batteries and let's start blasting into space, right? So now what's going to happen is we're going to keep hitting the maximum speed of the game, which is 100 meters per second. So I'm going to have to sit here and hit the keyboard and just kind of keep... I don't want to waste our batteries if we don't need to. Waste not, want not, especially if you're going to outer space. I'm not sure if the actual astronauts say that, but Astronaut River says that. Right? So we should be facing pretty much straight up, and then what's going to happen here is we're going to run out of thrust because we're going to basically get into lesser atmosphere. And it's already taking a little bit longer for me to get up there. And then we're going to transition over to using like forward. And we're going to have to point the ship like kind of hopefully straight up. We're at 4,000 feet at this point. So we'll see how that, yeah, now see, now I'm not, that's it. Now we're starting to slow back down at this point. So we're just going to kind of take this up, you know, as far as we can. Battery power is an issue to some degree too. We don't want to run out of that. There we go. Now we're down to 70. Well, how about when we get down to 50? What I'll do is I'm going to turn the dampers off. Oop, I probably should have had them off already. And then I'm going to hit forward and use these forward thrusters. Now I'm going to also take off 8. All right, that should turn off the front ones. And we have the damper off anyway. And then I want to spin my view around and try to make sure we're kind of heading straight up. Oop, I'm not pressing forward enough. Straight up. Yeah, I think that's straight up. Trying to do too many things with not enough. I'm not a guitarist. There we go. So now we're getting back up to 87. And we'll keep it like with this view, kind of keep the sun. I don't know if the sun is straight up, but it's somewhere up that way. And now I'm just throttling. You can see with the every time the engines kick on. Try to keep it so we go up relatively quickly. And what we're really looking for is that P gravity, planet gravity, to get down to 0, which will probably happen around 40 or 50,000 feet, I think it is. So I think what I'm going to do is like just sort of fast forward possibly this bit of video as we climb up out. There's not too much to say about it. When we get closer to space, I'll come back. Oh, there we go. We are almost into outer space. We got 0.06 gravity. I'm really keeping an eye on my hydrogen there. I've been checking. We are making some, and it actually just went up one little notch. So we're at 40,000 feet. I put the dampers on, but the front forward thrusters are off, so we should be heading straight in the direction of that cursor at this point. And then we want to go a little bit beyond that, right? We don't want to be like right on the border where we might accidentally get sucked back in. So what I'll probably try to do is find some place. Oh, there we go. We are now just floating in space. All right, so what I'll do is let's take a look around. All right, now we're at, where was the, oh, so we don't have an altitude anymore because just more or less like the distance from those things. We're at 50,000 kilometers at this point. I'd like to kind of look around and see, you know, if we got out to like 60,000 away, I see we're at 51. You know, there's a couple asteroids over, oh yeah, you know what, let's start slowing down slowly. You know, we don't need to be too far away, just far enough that we're not afraid. And these asteroids aren't closer to the planet, so let me put 8 on. All right, and that should start slowing us down. Hopefully, you know, we can slow down relatively slowly. Kind of maybe we want to be on the other side of those asteroids, right? So let's just turn 8 off. We can just, one of the things about this game is you can definitely be a lot more fuel efficient if you're patient. You know, if you, right? And I'm looking at those asteroids. I just sort of want to be on the other side of those asteroids. Hopefully they'll have some good stuff for us. Right, how far are we at? We're at 51,000. 56,000. So that's about, I was thinking of 60, like before I ever took off, as being a reasonably good height for this kind of thing. And that's nice. Those asteroids are right, you know, relatively close to where we'll build our base. We don't need to build them right on top. We can buzz over there and see if they have any goodies once we get established. Right, so like, I don't think it'll take us that long to slow down. We're only going 48. I kind of could have let it go a little bit longer. Let's take it like right up to about 60. I'll start slowing down when we're at like 59 and a half. And it'll be close enough. We could stop right here. It would probably be fine. Because there will be other asteroids like further out there. Oh, now there's a different reading. Yeah, you know what? This is probably good enough. We want to get set up and get these things going kind of ASAP. All right, so let's put 8 on again. So we have all of our thrusters are on at this moment. You can see that's slowing us down. And then once we hit 0 there, we will officially be in space and just sort of floating. There, guys, we made it into space. We are just about right now officially floating in space. No thrusters used or anything. So for the moment, what I want to do is just turn off 7, right? Just so, and then I'll turn off, I probably could have done this before, turn off the atmospheric thrusters. And I want to sort of point our ship, even though I don't know how much difference it's going to make, that one solar panel. Let's point it more directly at the sun, right? The gyroscope should do the trick. So we'll just sort of face down. Right, it looks like we're moving, but we're really not. You know, we're just sort of facing the sun at that point. All right, so let's hop in our cockpit. And our helmet is up. Always make sure your helmet is up because we don't have a medical bay to get started. Let's take a look at what our batteries are doing just so we know. So we're losing a lot more than we're gaining. We could probably turn some of this stuff off, right? Like the antenna. We could probably turn the, I don't think the camera uses anything. Yeah, we'll leave the gyroscopes on. The drill's off. The lights are off. The landing gears are off. We'll leave that O2 generator on. We'll turn off the ore detector. Yeah, that's fine. Everything else should either be off or just not. Yeah, I don't want to, just in case I go floating away or something, turn off our beacon or anything. All right, so let's hop out into space. There we are. We're in space. Now we'll use electricity and oxygen, which we were using in the ship, right? So we're always going to be using oxygen. And I want to start out by getting at least some steel plates going. Let's get 300 of them. And then let's get some interior plates, just 100. What else would we need? I don't know. I'll grab a couple of these motors. And we want to get the solar cell stuff going. So I forget if I think there's steel plates to start, but let's get some of these girders because I know they'll use those. All right, so what we want to do is, without getting too worried about it, we want to sort of orient this thing so it's facing the sun at least at some point in the day. So let me come down a little bit and we'll build underneath of this thing to get started, right? So we'll come just so this ship is right above us so we can land on it. It doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. All right, so we're going to take a block and I don't know, that looks, let's go a little bit lower. Right, does that look like it's facing the sun? Yeah, more or less. Now, I do have a plan for like being able to build a gyroscope. Oops, we're going to hit our ship. Yeah, but we will have to reorient it there, right? So that's where we're going to put our ship. And then I just want to build a long line of these things. And then in front of the ship, we'll talk about building other stuff, right? And the first thing I want to get going is our solar panel so we can start at least making some power up here. Yeah, so that's right, that's pretty reasonable. Now let's go out like 6 more blocks. All right, so this will be the beginning of the end of our ship right there, and then we'll go out, we'll skip 2, and then we'll do 6. So that's at 1, 2, 3, 4. Just doesn't really matter. We could always readjust. So what I want to do then is come over to here, here, here. All right, so we want to put solar panels like this. So we have 6 of them. Yeah, let's. No. All right, I think that's even with the other one. Yeah. All right, and then I'm going to start welding these up a little bit. Well, you know what? Why don't I weld some of this stuff not on camera? So the next thing I want to do, hopefully I have enough stuff, so then let's put up some more of these here. And I'm thinking we go like, we'll have like a 4 deep room, right? So there's a wall there, and then 4 deep, and then this will be like another wall here. Right, and we'll go over to the other side. Now, we're not building any walls just yet. We're just kind of placing down so we kind of have enough room to do the things that we want to do. So then what I want to do, this will be like, I guess you could call it the front of the ship. And for now, what I want to do is come in here and go to G. And it's called a control seat. I want to put that down because that'll let us, you know, sort of control things from here. Let's keep it a little bit out of the pathway, right? And then just because we have this here, this will just be somewhat temporary, but it's a good enough spot for the moment. I want to get, do I have it lined up? No. Let's come in here and get some of the things. We don't want refinery. We don't want assembler. Large cargo container. We don't need interior lights. And we certainly don't need a wind thing. And I want to put in production blocks. We want to put in a basic refinery. And a basic assembler, but not right this second. Really what we want, power blocks, is a battery. All right, so I'm just going to plop a battery down here. And I'd like to get all these things welded up, particularly these and that. So let me cut the video here for a minute, and I will come back when this is welded up. And I'll probably put a few more of the steel plates in place. All right, see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, we're all welded up. If we come down to our little battery here, you'll see we are charging at the moment. So hopefully this will get up, pretty good. We got 970 kilowatts hours of power. So the next thing I would like to do, because the ship is still draining down, is get it, hooked up real quick. All right, and we're going to do something first. What I want to do, I don't know which order these thrusters are in, these large hydrogen thrusters. I don't know that it matters, but I want to turn off or undo 2 of them. So let's come up here. Hydrogen thrusters, that we could always turn them on if we want to, right? But I'm going to come up here and just take off 2 of them. Hopefully that's the middle one. All right, so we don't burn all 3 of those. That's kind of overkill for the moment. Hopefully we'll remember to turn them back on when we go to left off again. So let me turn them on, which should be 7. And then let's get lined up. Oops, what are we hitting? I don't know what all that was about. All right, so we're kind of lined up this way. Let's go up a little bit more just to be safe. And let's turn. Hopefully we don't destroy our landing pad or our steel grid there. All right, so we should be pretty close to over it. And then if we can get locked in, I believe we should be able to charge the batteries, right? So let's hit 2. And then I like to spin my view around this way again. I guess it doesn't matter now that we're in space because we're used to the mining vessel. Let me hit V, and then let's go to K, and we'll see. Good, so we're recharging. Now the problem is the sun is going to keep moving, or we're going to keep moving relative to the sun, and not sure how well we'll stay lined up. But the good news is our ship is now sucking in energy from the sun, both with its solar panel and the solar panels over here. So now the other thing I did, just because it will kind of give us a thing, what I'm thinking of is we put a large cargo container over here. So let's get 7. I think I got it kind of set up, right? And then next to this thing, probably like 2 away, hopefully we have enough stuff for all of this, I want to put the basic refinery, right? And we're going to turn it. You know what the problem's going to, well, we don't need to control it from here, right? If we put this, like that's right on top of it, 1, 2. Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. If we, I think what is 6? Yeah, 6 is a basic assembler, and its door should be lined up with the door of that. And then what I want to do is come over here and put in some conveyor. All right, so we're going to go like that. Then we're going to have to go down and in. So we're going to do a 4. And then here. All right, so that'll connect that to that. And then what I want to do is come down here, and just for the sake of future expansion, which would almost certainly normally happen, right? We're going to put one of these conveyor junctions so that we can move these things without having to disconnect a bunch of stuff. All right, and then we'll connect that up to there. All right. So does that make sense? So then the only other thing, so I have on my list cockpit, which is that desk that we put in over there, gyroscope. And I was thinking, and then I have a second battery. So let's go back over here. I think I have that stuff set up here. No. G, all blocks. All right, gyroscope. There's the other battery. So let's go. You know, this thing's rather expensive, but it will give us a chance, I think, of moving this station in line with the sun a little bit better as the day goes on. If we put the other battery there, yeah, this would be the wall. Let's put it back like what's going to be that corner, and then we'll put the other battery right here. All right. So let me, once again, just for the sake of the length of the video and whatnot, I'll weld this stuff up, and you see I'm kind of thinking of some kind of like a hallway here. I guess I'd take this out. All right, so we can come running in and out of here, go over to our spaceship, come back. As time goes on, we might move the spaceship, or who knows, we might build a different floor altogether at that point. But let me get this stuff welded up, and I will be right back. Okay, I got some things done. Not everything I wanted to, but I emptied out everything from our vessel here and put it into our new cargo container, right? Now, the problem I had was I had to carry it. It wasn't that much stuff. I came short just a couple. There's interior plates, so we need a few interior plates, and then I had brought some iron and whatnot. By the way, here is our new refinery and our welder. Or, I'm sorry, welder. There we go, basic assembler. You can see it there. So these two are fully functioning. If I come over to here and hit F, we can get into the refinery itself. And I don't have enough here. Let's go to inventory, just this ship, right? I brought some iron up, and I brought some of this other stuff, but we don't have enough to make those couple extra interior plates that we need, and we don't. This is all the other extra stuff I brought. I took a couple of our oxygen and hydrogen bottles and just put them into here. So the other thing, if we come back to this, this one, we only have 2.11 ice. So, you know, now the good news is, let's take a look. Is that good news? That should be, the fact that we have that much means we should have a full hydrogen tank. So the question is, do we go back to the planet and see how things are going? Yeah, there's our hydrogen tank. Good, 100% full, which means our oxygen is probably pretty close to that, right? So the question I have for the next episode is, do we go and just take another trip back down, or do we go to just check out some of these asteroids? I'm sort of leaning towards going towards some of these asteroids. So I did get the other battery in, and I got a gyroscope in. So the reason the gyroscope is important, if you look, the sun is going down, right? But I rotated the ship. If you guys were really keen observers, you may have noticed if you look straight up, see we're kind of pointing at the sun now. So when the sun comes back around the other side of the Earth there, we'll be able to like reorient it again because it'll be over here, right? So I might even want to do it just in case we were to run out of power. Well, I don't want to do it till the sun's all the way down because we should still be charging here. Are we? Yeah. You know, we're still, you know, getting us power in. I don't want to mess with it until we do that. So like I said, what I can do is rotate this thing around so that these solar cells are facing the sun, at least until the point we get these batteries charged up. So that's like, I don't want this area to run out of power. Speaking of which, what I probably want to do, I don't think these things use any power. I probably should look it up. But if we come to the control panel, I can shut down the basic assembler and the basic refinery. All right, I'm not sure. Did that make any difference? I don't know. Somewhere we're using 46. It could be because of the gyroscopes. Let's see what happens if we shut that gyroscope off. A little bit. Use 3. Oh, you know the other thing I didn't build, which would this... Oh, you know what? We might be taking something apart to get this thing built. Let's come into G. Right, we want a beacon. I didn't necessarily mean to take that off, but steel plates. Yeah, do we have enough? Can I get stuff out of here when it's turned off? I guess I could always turn it back on, right? Let's see, does that change the... Nah, that didn't change the thing at all. Oh, that's... I wouldn't need that anyway. Oops. Alright, some steel plates. And then, I don't know, I'm sure it needs computers. Yeah, I don't even know if we have enough stuff. I think I would jump down below. Let's put this thing right below. Ooh. Put it right below our control thing there. Is that the right one? So construction components, radio components, and large steel tube. I have no idea if I have that stuff. I don't have the radio components. That's kind of a really big problem. Because now I don't know if we can find this thing again without a beacon. I mean, certainly what we should do is say, we probably could find it from this. Right? So this will be space outpost Earth. Right, so hopefully we'll be able to find that. We can see the other signals from down there, right? So we should be able to see it to be able to get back here. Beacons are nice, you know, just in case. Yeah, so there we go. So we're in the dark. So let's move this thing. And what I did was I changed my view to look like straight up, right? Is that straight up? Like right there. And so if we then just take, oops. Why can't I move? Oh, because I turned this thing off. Control seat on. Gyroscope on. All right. I think I'm looking straight up. All right, so the sun should pop out like over there. All right, so now we're more oriented so that when it pops out, we should get, you know, we should get the sun again, at least somewhat. Right? Does that make sense? So that's why the reason that this gyroscope, because in the meantime, you know, the fully recharged, it's still charging somehow. Huh. I guess it's, I don't know. We seem to be out of the sunlight, but is it because we're sucking down the battery there? So I think I'm going to hang out here, see how things are going. But, you know, the debate is, do we just go back down and get the stuff we need? I mean, really the only thing we need, yeah, we really, you know, we could, I think we should venture out. I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I'll stop waffling. And maybe we'll just go check out those things once we get some more solar panels. So I may solar power. I want to make sure this base is pretty fully powered up before we go off doing other things, and that'll help too. And then we'll see what's in these asteroids at the very least, and then we can make a decision, right? We'll try to stay out of the atmosphere of the Earth. It makes it a lot easier. We can't do too much major mining with this thing, but yeah. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.